Welcome to another edition of the Hawk Off the Press podcast. I'm your host, Gazette Hawkeye's reporter, John Seppi. I'm joined today by Iowa running back, now I guess former Iowa running back as he prepares for the NFL draft, Tyler Goodson. Tyler, thanks for joining me.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
I hope you're enjoying much warmer Dallas than it is here in 18-degree Iowa City today.
Most definitely. I've been waiting for this moment to get out the cold, and it is here, so I'm most definitely enjoying the warmth.
So first of all, kind of take me back to last month as you're coming to this decision to choose now as the time to pursue that NFL draft route. What was kind of the thought process there?
Yes, most definitely. Towards the end of the season, I had an idea of like the NFL was a possibility, and I think really what brought me to the decision is I feel like I've done everything I need to do and accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish well for the most part. And so I just thought the time was right for me to choose to go to the NFL. Obviously, I talked it over with my parents and a couple other mentors in my life, and they were perfectly fine with it. It was just my decision, and they went along with it. And throughout that last month, like after the last game of the season, I basically went to Coach Ferentz and told him how I was feeling. And Coach Ferentz and the coaching staff of Iowa was just nothing but respectful and giving me praise and congratulating me on my career there at Iowa. And they were just very supportive, and that's all I could ask for as a player. To see that those guys were very supportive of me and happy for me was just a blessing, and it's good to see.
And then what's been the process like now more than a month, as hard as that is to believe already, in terms of switching gears quickly from being college athlete to now preparing for all the steps of the NFL draft?
Right. It's definitely a lot different, going into the off season of like after college football season, being a college athlete in off season is more of building strength and get strong as you can to be prepared to take on as much contact as you can and be able to perform throughout a long season as the year continues through fall camp, through spring ball, fall camp, and a season and maybe playoffs after that. So it's definitely a long season and a difference after the college. But as of now, in this process, and switching gears, it's more of, I would say, not as trying to get strong. It's more of being as fast as you can, making sure your body is well recovered, healthy, make sure you're eating right, and just making sure you're just being a professional because there's always odds around you. And right now for me, I'm just here in Dallas training with Exos and trying to prepare myself to be the best athlete I can when combine comes and be the best professional I can when teams start to reach out to me for interviews and all types of other stuff.
Anything that's kind of surprised you as now you're finally going through this?
I wouldn't say nothing really surprised me. The team I signed with, Sports Trust Agency, they did a good job of preparing me for every situation that has came my way. And so I've really been prepared for every situation. Even coming from a university like Iowa, they prepared me to be a good young man, a good athlete, a good player on and off the field. So every situation I've been in has not really surprised me because I've been prepared for this level, and it's showing.
And then I'm assuming you've been getting a lot of advice, maybe some solicited, maybe some unsolicited. What's kind of been the overall what various mentors have been telling you as you've been going through this?
Right. I mean, I've been getting some good info, but to be honest with you, I really haven't been paying attention to anybody's advice. For me right now, it's me focusing on training here in Dallas and making sure I'm doing everything I can to be a better athlete and go out there and show whoever's going to be looking at the combine that I could be a great player and contribute to a team. And so that's just my main focus right now. And then also just being a professional about every situation I come about or every team, every interview, even a podcast like you're doing yourself, just making sure I'm a professional in all areas, in all categories of this process.
And then what are your expectations come draft day?
I'm pretty sure everybody in this process has high expectations come draft day. Everybody wants to be that top guy. But like I said, in order to be that top guy, I have to prepare myself now to be able to be one of the top running backs and come my day and come draft day. So right now it's all about focusing on what I can do to be that top guy and exceed my expectations.
And I'm sure you've, growing up, seen all the different setups that different players in the draft have had as they find out the news. Do you know yet how you're going to be doing that, or am I a couple months ahead of myself here?
A couple months. Just a couple months.
And then looking back at your time at Iowa, any particular favorite memories that stand out?
Most definitely. Most definitely, I'll probably say my freshman year, my first start. Just me hearing I'll be able to start that week was obviously shocking and amazing feeling. And it was a blessing just to have the opportunity to go out there and start. I would say when I scored my first starting touchdown against Minnesota, it was just a surreal feeling, and it was really a dream come true for me. And so I would say that was definitely my favorite memory at Iowa. But other than that, it's just being around that community and being around those teammates. Those guys made me feel safe in that environment. People were always supportive, and that's what really all you can ask for in the community is everybody's support. And once you see everybody supports you, it's going to drive you to play better for your teammates and play better for that community.
And then what was it like getting to see Gavin and LaShawn kind of shine there in the Citrus Bowl there? I'm assuming you've had plenty of chances to see that already in practice.
Right. It was amazing feeling. I've been telling you guys all year that when those guys get the chance, they're going to show out. And for me to see them go in there and step into a role that is theirs, and now that they see that it's theirs, and for them to go out there and play the way they did and just take in all the teaching points, notes, and implement into that game was just amazing for them to see. And that's just only one game. They still have a year, 2, 3, 4 more years there. And so it's just going to be exciting to see, but not just for me, just for everybody that's going to be in the stadium, coaches. I'm just ready to see what they do in the future.
And then what's it been like with your time at Iowa, getting to learn more recently from Ladell Betts, who's been in the NFL and has kind of done this journey that you're now on?
Right. Coach Betts has always been up front. He's been very supportive ever since he stepped in the door and taken that position of being the running back coach. And now, as I've transitioned this process, he's reached out to me. We've talked on the phone a couple times about making sure my body's well recovered from the season because it's a long season. And if my body's not recovered, then I'm not going to be ready to go come by. And he's just been giving me key points on just how to go about business opportunities, how to save money, how to be good financially. So he's definitely been a good mentor and influence for me, especially knowing that he's been at that position. So every time he has something to say or every time he has some good advice given to me, I try to hone in and take in as much as I can and try to implement that into my life.
And then what do you see as kind of your pitch to an NFL team who is considering, okay, with this pick, are we going to take Tyler Goodson out of Iowa?
Right now, I would say my pitch to any team that's looking at me is that I'm a hard worker. And do anything I can to put myself in a position to not only make myself successful, but the guys along me, and even the coaching staff successful as well. So that's really all I can ask for, because everything else will take care of itself. As long as I have my teammates' trust and my coach's trust, everything on and off the field will take care of itself. And that's really all I can pitch to.
Well, Tyler, I appreciate the time, especially as you're kind of going through this busy process.
Most definitely. I appreciate you having me again.
Yes, hopefully you can enjoy some of that nicer weather and I think most of the people listening to this are freezing.
So I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it ever since I went back home to Atlanta. So
thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of the Hawk Off the Press podcast. Before I go, just want to acknowledge, I realize a lot of people have expressed a lot of strong feelings about the Gazette's reporting and follow-up coverage of the Iowa Football Advisory Committee. Just want to say I hear you and thank you. So I'll be back with another edition of the Hawk Off the Press podcast next week. In the meantime, I encourage you to check out thegazette.com. Started our position winter breakdown of, okay, where is Iowa at each position now that, okay, the 2021 season is in the books, not quite yet to that 2022 spring practice season. So we'll be releasing 3 per week of that. Already got running backs and offensive line online, so recommend checking that. Until then, we will talk Hawks later.